atmosphere around us is constantly changing, the current one is pushing the digitization to the next level. And in that journey, don't let uneducated guys tell you opposite. Because this document, 2018 document from Citigroup, talks about Interledger Protocol becoming an ultimate network for interoperability. And this will facilitate low value payments. So they actually understood that way before. And when Ripple comes out and makes it clear that they are now going in for this area, that's SME payments and the low value payments, do not be confused only because someone filled your head with misinformation. This document from Deloitte shows Ripple is in the right direction, or they were always in the right track. Small and medium enterprise is now going digital. And what is required for that? When the same is happening all around the world, we can actually see Bank of International Settlement highlighting the same, right? So yes, you guys actually saw that right. It's from BIS, which shows that they are promoting interoperability by which the digitization will occur. So you can actually see the real link there. And this is the scenario worldwide. Now we are in the transition, we know that. And this particular tweet from HMX shows how XRP payment transactions are also evolving. The doubt about your investment is not bad because it kind of makes you think more and to learn more about this aspect of this particular asset in the long run. Value of your asset in the long run is what we are here as investors. So the scientific investor family try to stay on top of the FUD and the price is falling. We know that that information being popped out regularly is just to depress you. So because just that's happening, we don't actually care about that. When a bank like Citibank states XRP differs from other cryptos because it was just designed to speed the processing of transactions, real-time settlements, all the different aspects which Ripple highlights, along with this statement, which really, is the way forward because it says ILP solves for interoperability and could ultimately lead to building an entire network of trust and facilitate peer-to-peer payments. So if we don't see this now, we may actually miss the real chance to accumulate when the price is 95-97% down from the all-time highs, which really will be a loss if you look for backward after a couple of years. Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now this is a document from Deloitte. If you actually go in, check for Deloitte Future of Exchanging Value, you can actually get this. Now when people try to create doubt in your head, saying that Ripple the company is fooling you, the XRP holders, they're trying to dump on us, reality is just opposite. And we, the scientific investor family, went through details of this specifically, right? So here in this document, it actually reads XRP is a key technology in overall Ripple solution. I'll read it again. XRP is the key technology in the overall Ripple solution. So that should not be misunderstood. That is a rocket launching information there itself. And okay, great. So you can see that in the overall Ripple solution, that's the key. So what about the price of XRP? Then I will read this one here. 100 billion XRP was created at Ripple's inception with the protocol's rules specifying that no more is to be created. This makes XRP a scarce asset which should cause the currency to appreciate over time. So they actually understood that, right? So if Deloitte understand that, this may, many of us should actually be on the same page or else miss out on the profit over time. It's not something you're going to create overnight. It will take time. It will take a long time because this is a disruptive technology and the effect of disruption is already seen all around the globe. We can actually understand that. And at the same time, do understand, they actually talk this. Removing the underlying technology, on the other hand, creates an unusable currency not backed by a government, blah, 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 private institution and comes down. So when they talk about that, you really have to understand, say, clearly the currency is an integral technology in the overall Bitcoin solution of exchanging value. And now it's clear that exchanging value in Bitcoin is not the best. or at least it's worst, because it uses a lot of energy and a lot of stuff related to payment doesn't actually come closer anywhere near to what XRP can offer, due to that frictionless experience, providing stability, providing that clarity of the payment within seconds. No other asset can actually do that as of now. And along with the partnerships which Ripple has now, no one can actually come on top, at least for next 10 years. So choosing your asset while you are here to invest, that is a key point to consider. So when we actually see information like this coming out, saying the XRP volume is crashing on the largest payment corridors, keep in mind they are shifting their attention towards low value payments. And as we just showed in one of the tweet, it really is happening. And don't actually forget this, right? XRP is the key technology and it is scarce. And over time, the price will appreciate. And this is not what I'm saying. It's on a document written from Deloitte. We just saw a document from the Citibank. So the banks, huge bankers, are coming to understand this is happening. And at the same time, this comes out for the retail investors. We saw this and majority would be shifting out. But what you actually have to see is this one. The actual shift of how the world of finance will be changed just using XRP. Because in the previous video, we talked about this, right? Ripple CEO reveals how his company is shaking up the money transfer space. That really is happening. Because now, as we just talked, the burst of $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 micro payments are being processed as of now. So the low value payment is kicking up. Now this tweet from HMX is kind of continuation to this one from Anders. And this really shows that someone sent almost 940K in 20,000 batches in USD to Mexico. And that too within 8 minutes, and that on a Sunday. And then it's followed by this. Someone who's sending 20K bursts like that is currently testing this one, $100, $200, $300, $400. Why should they be doing this? Because they have some kind of advantage in doing that, right? I don't know what exactly that is. We'll actually go through the details, try to research the background, and then come up and share with the scientific investor family. But keep that in mind. This really is actually happening. And as we move forward, this tweet from Einstein actually shows something different. We actually talked about in our previous video, we talked about Amazon Web Service, highlighting that Ripple is a partner for them, and this is the future technology. They actually describe that and they advocate others using this technology. Now that's not actually a small deal. Now when we actually go into this document, this is from Statement Beta, we actually can read this. Let me first respond to asking another question, and he actually puts out this question, like, whenever we are seeing new partnership being announced, why is the price of XRP not going up? So the answer to the question is XRP has no use cases currently. So that statement itself, I believe it's a bit old, because as of now, you can actually see a lot more. So what they are talking there is based on 2015 and Ripple and Amazon tie-up. So never look at Ripple for what it is today. Always assume they are multiple steps ahead at any given time. So that is what you have to think. Consider all of the blockchain technologies coming out and then compare it with the adoption rate, or at least the partnerships and how it is evolving. Who is supporting this particular technology? When you see BIS coming out and stating this, IMF coming out and stating this, World Bank coming out and putting this out, you really have to understand. Now this document from World Bank, it's not directly connectable like that, but when you actually read through it, what you understand is they are looking at a real-time payment strategy, and this was back in 2012. Think, when was Ripple's initiative on this particular pursuit started? That was on the same year, right? So that kind of gets something similar is happening, something is cooking in there. So in continuation to what we actually detailed in yesterday's video, if you remember, exchanges had a key part to play, right? So why are exchanges coming in? Because banks can't directly hold a digital asset, and we previously heard it from a banker. Like, it's a holy grail for them. They don't have to actually hold this digital asset because of the regulatory clarity, and they can at the same time use this technology for their benefit. And that is how these exchanges use XRP for disrupting the entire payment space. This article titled RippleNet Propagating Users Preference actually shows how the system works. So this particular figure in this one is illustrating the entire knowledge, like how it can be actually moved. So they are actually considering the entire network and how it's going to change the system. Now this was published back in 2018, and always remember, when it is published back in 2018, the process for this particular article would have started at least a year before or even 2 years before that. So when they are looking at the RippleNet and its framework and how it is solving the real-time problem, now they are going scientifically deep inside. And if you guys don't actually want to go dig that much deeper to go through the equations and how they are deriving these factors used into future, like say we can go like 5 years, 10 years ahead and connect this dots there. So these studies are actually coming out, being published and showcasing how this technology is going to change the entire space. So at that same time, what you have to understand is XRP transaction volume is dominated by large companies. So if large companies are using their payments, shifting that into low value payments, like what we saw previously, 20k payments were actually being running through, and it was like in 8 minutes 940k, right? So now the same company is testing 100, 200, $500 payments. Why? Because they are actually saying something which we, the retail investors, are not understanding as of now. And if that is true, the direction Ripple gave us is kind of a hint that don't be let down just because the volume is going down, because we are also seeing from different informations, like after experiencing. Now this is a bit slow to load, but this article actually shows how they are actually changing their target from the treasury to that of SMEs. Now, at first we went through another document from Deloitte showing SME payment is being digitized and they are changing their infrastructure, right? And here it directly shows Ripple XRP wants to target less treasury and more of SME. So I hope you guys actually get that connection, because this is not that old article. This is on the same month, June 9th. So that kind of gets, direction, and this quotes directly back to, Ripple's insights. So the summary put out there is kind of, what we actually needed to understand. So when the information, so this kind of information is dramatically changing the entire space. So don't consider that as a negative one, because it is actually changing. We understand that. And the reason for that change is what I explained now. They actually knew this, or were actually preparing for this previously, but at first the volume was started to understand that benefit, and they are starting to use their own payment in their own way through this network. So for us, that doesn't actually matter. And if you actually understand the entire scenario, you will also understand one point, which is investing, right? We are all here as investors. We are here to make profit. But just the thing is, when you are entering into a disruptive technology, and in a market cycle where you are so early, you are adopting that so early in the market cycle, that means the price is too low and you're wise. But at the same time, you have to keep this in mind, that the price is low, you are too early, means you really have to wait a long time. Now when we actually jump back into this document from the Citibank, we can actually, I'm coming back here to illustrate this document back in 2018 explaining. Now think that document is talking about Bank of Future, and in that one they are actually discussing this about the cryptocurrency space and how Ripple, the XRP, is different from others. So they actually, it's not like they don't understand that this is not different, because it's designed, XRP is designed to optimize the speed for processing transaction, ideal for real-time payments, allows for execution of automated script, is centralized, created by Ripple. Now, centralized in the sense it was created by an organization. As of now, they understand that. And then it is kind of controlled. The supply is kind of controlled. Unlike, the miners coming out, mining more, or the miners being cut off, they are mining less, that will affect the price. It's not like that. It's kind of an escrow, and it comes out on a proper detailed schedule, right? So there is it a bit, we can consider that as a bit centralized. But the entire XRP ledger and the ILP sector is decentralized, whereas RippleNet is an open kind of, controlled by Ripple itself. when we talk about the open source technology, it's on XRP Ledger and IntelliJ protocol, where different organizations can actually come in, right? Now, despite this, we think XRP is unlikely to be used for global settlement by bank due to the factors such as compliance risk, as XRP can also bought and sold on exchanges that may not be adequately monitored by regulators, and that was stated back in 2018. And as of now, we know that regulators are stepping in. They're targeting the exchanges, and in this 2 years, the change has been drastic. Like, the exchanges are now considered as money service, financial service in different parts of the world. Especially if you see the news from Canada, you'll understand that. So when we read this document, along with that positive and negative thing, you really have to understand what has changed, how it has evolved, and that makes us a better investor in terms of understanding that. And on the next page, when they're talking about the current infrastructure and how it's going to change, you see that XRP pool there. This is what Ripple, the company, also states. If this is from Germany, this is from Brazil, this is how it will be connected in the future. And they understand that from the very early stage. Guys, if you hear kind of noise from the background, I'm sorry about that. My 6-month-old baby has just woke up and he's kind of naughty in the morning. So I'm sorry about that. Now, getting back into the subject, so we can actually see that this is changing in this way. And if we understand that properly, back that time we only had 75 clients, banking clients, but currently we are about 300 as per the swell announcement, last swell announcement, and we are waiting for the next swell announcement. So considering this 2 years, from 75 to at least maybe 500 will be announced in swell, or 600 will be reaching that area. So in the bottom kind of conclusion, they state this: we believe the toughest hurdle Ripple faces is getting banks to adopt their technology and consequently build a network, which existing players like Swift already have. So we can now see that after 2 years, currently Ripple, the company, has kind of achieved their targets. They, just by the announcement of Facebook's Libra, they actually got a lot more call. They started a lot more pilot. They are piloting with central banks, and now it is happening. And at the same time, in continuation, they are talking about the central bank digital currencies. That too have evolved, right? It evolved from that initial concept of central bank digital currency to retail digital currency, wholesale central bank digital currency, now hybrid and synthetic. And for synthetic, we actually understood that that has a lot of things in common, which will be coming into the IntelliJ protocol, which is ILP, right? So keep your eye on that and understand the fundamentals and try to analyze how the fundamentals are actually evolving. Because if you just look at the price, it may actually deceive you, and you won't actually see the actual fundamentals of that asset and miss out on the huge gains which are coming in the future. If you guys receive value from the content, please do hit that like button, and if you're new here or haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that subscribe button. And I repeat, I'm sorry for that background noise from the baby, so bye for now.